Here we are once again with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we're looking at in this episode is the Tanaka Yo, our Western handled VG-10 Nashiji Gyuto 210mm knife. So the construction of these is 3 layers, and in the harder center core steel is VG-10 full stainless at around 60 to 60 run Rockwell. The cladding on either side is a softer stainless cladding. So this is an all stainless knife. And it looks like the cladding does go over the top of the spine. So easy maintenance on these, yet it's got that handcrafted look to it, so because it is. So I should say not just look. The weight and dimensions on these will vary a little bit from that reason. So this one's 181 grams or 6.4 ounces. Edge length is right about 210 on the money, about 8¼ inches. And the overall length's about 13.4 inches. Spine thickness, these are fairly stout knives. They're stiff and got a nice confident feel to them. So I've got just a little under 3 millimeters coming out of the handle or the tang, that you can see the tang's fairly thick. And then about 3 millimeters, and then about 2.3 about halfway down the blade. And then it pretty much just holds that all the way through until you hit the grind. The grind's fairly generous on these. You can see where that starts right in here. So the tip thins out a bit towards the end. It's not super skinny, but you'll get decent performance out of that tip. And they've also got a fairly generous grind on these, and they thin out. It's not a whisper thin edge, but it thins out pretty nicely towards the edge. As I mentioned on the 180 Gyuto video, just kind of working with this knife, it kind of just strikes me that these would be probably pretty good introductions for some people for Japanese cutlery. You've got an all stainless package. You've got some handcrafted character to it, hand-chiseled kanji, reasonable performance with, a little bit more robust meat behind the edge and the tip. So, it's a little more forgiving, not super hard on the steel. The steel should be really good, the core steel. It's just a nice all-around package. The blade height is pretty generous as well, 49.6 millimeters for this particular knife. So I've got lots of clearance there for my fingers on a grip, either a racket grip or a pinch grip. The handle is a black Packwood, which is a stabilized wood product, resin impregnated, and I'm sure these are stainless rivets. It is a partial tang, so the tang stops right in here and probably comes in this area down here and back underneath, and you can see it doesn't go all the way to the outside. So that cuts down the weight quite a bit on the handle, which brings your balance point back up front a little bit. Not quite as much as a pure Wa or Japanese handle, but kind of a compromise there. So there's your balance point, but just a little bit behind a pinch grip, so you still get a kind of a neutral feel to this. This particular handle has a little bit of a cutout towards the back for a little comfort area if you tend to use that. With a pinch grip, doesn't even matter. On a racket grip, you might find your fingers going back there. Let's see here. Let's look at the beauty shot. See if we can get our lighting good. So you've got hand-chiseled kanji, which is a really cool, authentic feature here. You can run your fingers over it and feel it. You've got, this one has a kind of a blade road. It's got a finish on it. It's got a kind of a sandblasted finish, but that looks like they've done some sanding this way, and you've got some marks on even the edge core steel peeking through there. So it's got kind of a brushed finish combo over the top of that. It's an interesting finish, whoever finished off this blade. There's your mottled pear skin finish on the left and the right side of the blade. They've done a nice job of smoothing out the spine a little bit, the choil a little bit. I'd say the out-of-the-box edge was 5, maybe 6 out of 10, so it's just decent out-of-box edge, but you could get it sharper, of course. As I said, the blade has a lot of stiffness to it. Just a nice package. So this is the cutting profile. And these have really smooth edge profiles. They're just gentle curves, no high spots, no low spots. I'm quite impressed with the smoothness of the profile. It just flows from the tip to the back. There's not a real big flat spot, but just kind of a gentle belly. Fairly low tip, so I'm not going to get super high on the rock. I'm going to get down in there. You could tweak that tip a little bit when you sharpen and maybe upsweep the very last couple of millimeters to give yourself a little more room on getting height on the back of the blade. But this will do a nice job on basic rocking, push-pull cuts, that kind of stuff. It's not a pure chopper, but pretty good, it's all-around profile. So it's a neat package. You got an all-stainless handcrafted knife with a lot of character to it. Yeah, it's a very compelling package for the right person. So this is the Tanaka Yo or Western VG-10 Nashiji Gyuto 210 millimeter knife.